Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to the Espresso Outlet YouTube channel, and today we'll go ahead and cross-post this to our Kaleido YouTube channel, but I wanted to show you our brand new roaster. So this is the Kaleido M1 Lite, and if you're looking on our bench right now, you can also see that we have the original Kaleido M1. So we're going to do just a quick comparison between the two, kind of unveil this to you. Back in the early days, this was pretty much their flagship roaster, the Kaleido M1. It's really kind of where the brand took off. It's a 200 gram roaster. It's a little bit bigger than like a household toaster. Doesn't take up very much space. You can store it underneath a cabinet or wherever in your garage, and it's really easy to set up. Now, this did come in two configurations. One is the Pro version, which pretty much just only runs Artisan, and then they came out with a dual version, which has the proprietary Kaleido tablet, as well as you could connect it to Artisan. So really the issue with this roaster is it's a fantastic roaster, but the price is a little bit high. And as the roaster evolution has kind of taken place, people see things like a Skywalker, and they see the larger Skywalker size and think that it's potentially a better roaster. I've done reviews on both Skywalker V1 and V2. I can tell you that this is pretty much substantially more roaster, even though you're not roasting quite as much better roast quality. It does come out of the box standard with like your Artisan configuration or the standalone tablet. But a lot of people said, I don't know, am I really into roasting yet? I'm not sure if I'm willing to spend over $1,000. Most of these are like $1,200 to $1,300. So we've been working with Kaleido to come out with the M1 Lite. And the Lite is pretty much just the light version of the original M1 that we see here. It is stripped down a little bit. So let's talk through some of those features. You can see that the side panels on the original M1, they kind of have some bulk to them. On the M1 Lite, it's just flat pieces of steel. Also, on the M1 Lite, there is just a little bit of a light bulb in the front that you can, when you're pulling out your dryer, you can see your beans easier since it does have this overhang. So on the M1 Lite, it does not have that. I never really found it as an issue because I'm going to pull the dryer completely out, look at it in person under better light than that light, so I never really found a whole lot of value in that small light. Next, something that the rest of the Kaleido roasters already do is have a power cord that doesn't disconnect from the roaster itself. And we find a lot of people, what they do is they'll be putting the roaster away and they leave the cord on anyway, and they break that switch or they break that outlet in the back. I said, let's get rid of it. So the M1 Lite has an integrated, non-removable power cord. Now they both do have the USB interface. So if you had the dual version, the USB interface is only for the tablet. On the Pro versions, you can plug it in directly to a laptop. Now I do want to talk about that for a second. One thing that I haven't mentioned yet is the M1 Lite is going to be Artisan only. Even if you were to buy their proprietary tablet, it's not going to work, but we're trying to make this the best roaster that's the most cost efficient as possible. So we opted to do just Artisan, and something that I haven't really done much yet online, but there is a new, it's mainly for Android, it's called Highbeam, and it works very well for the Kaleidos. So we're going to be testing that, we'll be showcasing that a little bit more here soon, but there are beginning to be more options outside of Artisan. The next change is when you bought your original M1, a little bean cooling tray came assembled. It's a pretty simple device anyway, and I have a video, I'll link to it below, but the new cooling bin, you can see they're identical in pretty much every way, except this one ships flat. And the whole reason behind that is we wanted this to be the most cost efficient as possible. And when so much of the package was dedicated to this device that could be shipped flat, we said, let's make the package a little bit smaller. So have an assembly video, it only takes 2 to 3 minutes, really simple, and it's just as strong. It's basically the exact same bean cooling bin. So just kind of note that you'll have a little bit of assembly to do. So let's go ahead and do a quick overview of the M1 Lite. You can see that we have our bean tray in the top. We have our chute. In the original V1, you used to have to hold the chute up. On the version 2 that we've been selling, you can rock it off to either side and it will stay in the open position. So if you were to use a cup, you can pour the cup in, simply align it in the middle, and it seals up the bean chute. So they've kept that. We have our bean dryer. It's identical to the previous version, so works really well. When you're getting down to like maybe 50 to 100 grams, It is, and this is true of any roaster, going to take a little bit longer for it to pick up some beans. I have found this roaster to perform very well at 100 to 150 grams. Next, we have our dump door. Functions the same as the previous. It has some magnets and some ball bearings to keep it down. Has a sapphire sight glass so that you can see your beans as it's roasting. We'll move our cooling tray out of the way. And just like the previous version, this is the hot air version. So we'll put a diagram up on the screen. How this works is instead of it having no air drawn through the roaster, it has a small hole in the front. And there's an inner shell and an outer shell of the roasting chamber. And what it's going to do is it's going to bring in cool air. It's going to draw that over the top where the heating elements are, and it's eventually going to make its way down into the drum. So you get that constant convection heat throughout. Without this, you have smoke buildup, you have moisture buildup, and this just does a very good job of circulating the smoke and the air out of the roaster. Next, similar to the previous version, we have our cooling fans in the front and our cooling bin. It's a unique design. It doesn't look that specialized, but it has kind of a dual wall. You can see when your beans fall in, it's going to draw air from the top down, and it's going to draw it out the back of the roaster. So really simple design, but I found it to be extremely efficient on these roasters. Unlike the Sniper series, the chaff bin pulls out in the front. Mine's a little bit dirty because we have been using it, but not a real big deal. On the other versions, they pull out the side. This is the same as the previous model. Taking a quick look at the back, we do have our exhaust again. As you can tell in this video, very similar to the previous version, comes out the rear like so. The upper body is designed to be a mono piece versus multiple pieces, so that again kind of reduces the price. We have our USB port down at the bottom. Yours is gonna look just a hair different. They said that they made it a little bit bigger so that the plug fits in. This is just a sample, so expect it to just have these really minor tweaks on the final. So I really wanted to keep that video short. We're just introducing this M1 Lite. We'll do more content on it in the near future, show you some of the differences between the original M1 and the M1 Lite. As I know I have a lot of customers, they've been asking what happened to the old M1. And for now, I think we're gonna discontinue it. It's just a little bit too pricey, so let's see how this one does. In terms of parts, the parts are more or less 100% interchangeable with the original M1. Same motor, same elements, same control boards and everything. So really not going to be worried about getting any parts for this, as we have most of them in stock already. If you've not checked out our other YouTube channel, if you're watching this on one and not the other, head over to the Espresso Outlet YouTube channel or the Kaleido Roasters USA YouTube channel and consider giving it a like and subscribe. We don't always cross post, but when it comes to Kaleido stuff, we do like to cross post those things. So I think that's all for today. I appreciate you guys tuning in to see this new Kaleido M1 Lite.